So I'm continuing my reviews of Hamster and Gretel Season 2 with Episode 3. So 3A is Evil, Upheaval, and 3B is AI. So let's talk about 3A first, Evil, Upheaval. So this episode mostly is focusing on the Destructors and Fist Punchers, the two other villains from Season 1. And well, it's dealing with the fact that the Destructress, Lauren, does not really want to be a villain anymore, but her brother, whose name I just totally forgot, Lyle, the Fist Puncher, is still wanting to be evil and all that. Basically, she wants to be a stereotypical teenage girl, and he just wants to be a bully, and he wants to use his powers to be a bully. That's essentially the main plot of it, and they even go to family therapy. Helps Lauren does not help Fist Puncher at all. He just goes from mad to feeling gross after doing some good stuff. And he does it terribly. There's a song about it where part of it is like, yep, can you at least just be neutral? That's essentially the story of the song. But yeah, this is a really good episode because if you think back to some of the other appearances, especially the episode where Lauren is hired to babysit Gretel and her friend Bailey, show that she's not really all in on the evilness and all that. And that episode was mostly, because she wants some legitimate money to pay her bills. And by the way, her babysitting is brought back up in this episode because that's how she pays for her half of the therapy. Meanwhile, Fist Puncher, he just goes to rob a bank to give to the therapist, and then he's then going to rob the therapist again. Yeah, he has some issues he needs to work through. But basically the episode ends where Lauren's like, yep, she does not want to be the Destructress anymore. And she gives up on being evil. Though she does tell her brother that she'll see him at dinner. Well, the fact that he's in jail might prevent that a little bit. And in jail, Fist Puncher, his bunkmate is somebody known as Foot Kicker who can kick things really far with his small foot, not his big foot. Yeah, his feet are two totally different sizes. And meanwhile, doing all this, what's Hamster and Gretel doing? Well, it's kind of funny. They're trying on new costumes because apparently there's a parody of Chuck E. Cheese, a place called Courtesy Curds in the universe, and apparently their costumes are very similar to the uniforms and mascot of that place, so they're looking for different costumes. And yeah, they all know that their costumes are dumb, including the hot dog and hamburger themed costume that they wear while facing Fist Puncher. And he calls them those costumes dumb, and they agree with him. They know it's dumb. So they decide to go back to their original costumes. So yeah, the Hamster and Gretel stuff is really just so we can have some fun stuff to laugh at, true humor. Meanwhile, in the main storyline, the A-plot with Lauren and her brother, because now that she's no longer really want to be the Destructress, I feel like just calling her by her actual name is the way to go. That's the heart of the episode. And also, potentially, she might decide not just to be a typical teenage girl who does some nice stuff. Maybe she'll consider being a superhero someday. It's always possible, especially with greater evil coming. We still don't know what the aliens' plans are, but it's definitely very interesting. I will say I do think I liked Evil Upheaval more than I did the next episode, 3B, AI, but we still need to talk about it. I see the title, it's like, okay, they're going to probably do some kind of commentary on AI. It's the kind of standard stuff. The AI is going to follow its programming to the letter rather than the spirit of the programming. So what's going on is, the city is replacing its human crossing guard. Apparently they only have one, with a bunch of AI robots that are basically just talking walk signs. That's really what it boils down to. But the AI decides to, do the typical AI stuff. Humans can't cross the street safely, therefore they cannot be allowed to cross the street. Rather than, doing its job and making the street safe to cross or stopping traffic so that way the humans can cross the street safely. It's a tried and true AI story plotline. I was wondering if they were going to maybe do a little bit more about AI stuff given how that's becoming very common, but I understand why they would go with some more typical AI plotline warning about the dangers of AI, especially that you apparently buy cheap knockoff and you get the expanded package that can repair itself, and cat's feet even though they're bolted into the ground. Again, the mayor really needs to think some stuff through. And he really needs to do something about that toxic waste pit underneath the playground. Hamster and Gretel don't seem to notice it, but Bailey does. Though, that doesn't get addressed or anything. But I think that's definitely a bigger concern than the AI crossing guards. Now that the AI, especially because, it's the AI crossing guards, just has some common sense. But AI, they're going to only do what they've been programmed to do. And they're not going to be able to interpret it. While the human crossing guard, not only does she chat up with the people crossing the street and all that, she also, responds to developing situations. During the fight between Hamster and Gretel and the robot, guess what she does? She gets everyone to safety. Would the robot have done that if the situations were reversed? I don't think so. Like I said, it's a really good, fun episode, but actually I think I like Kevin's plotline a bit more just because it's the funnier plotline. Basically, he sets up a pet sitting business, and his first car is a prank car with the old classic, prank car is your refrigerator running. And guess who the prank car is? It's his own parents. Which they knew what they were doing. But honestly, they're portrayed as, I think, 80s kids, so that totally makes sense. Oh, we're 80s kids, now they're grown up, but definitely I could see Dan Povenmire doing that also. I don't know if he would have, but he grew up in that time frame. Prank cars I don't think as common as they used to be, but yeah. They definitely know what they were doing there. But going back to Kevin's plotline, he's hired to watch some goats, of all things. No, he was expecting cat dog, maybe something like a gerbil or a hamster or a fish. No, a herd of goats. Well, anyhow, he gains their trust when he saves a kid goat from falling off a cliff, and then they parody the Lion King. And it's all that, and he uses the goats to save the day in the main storyline by getting them to eat the wires of the robots, which prevents them from self-repairing. Though one did say that he'll be back. They gotta keep an eye on that. Hopefully they'll properly dispose of it. So that covers most of the stuff, but I do want to talk about some Easter eggs that were in 3A Upheaval. So when they go to, when Lauren and Lyle go to see, or they're still in costume, so they're still the Destructors and Fist Punch, but when they go to see the family therapist, the building has a bunch of different names on it. The first one it hovers over is a Dr. Heinz brain transplant, if I remember what it said correctly. Yeah, brain transplant. Obviously, that has to be a reference to Dr. Heinz Diffenschmutz from Phineas and Ferb. That has to be. Did he ever actually make it? I think he did. Did he ever? No, Phineas and Ferb made a teleporter that swapped minds. I'm surprised Doof never did that. I feel like something he would do. I don't think it's actually him because Doof would never be competent enough to do brain surgery without doing some innate that has a self-destruct button. So, yeah. But apparently there's, I didn't catch this, but there's apparently also a hair salon that is called Hairway to Heaven Salon, which is a parody, obviously, I think of, well, I'm just reading it off the wiki, of Stairway to Heaven, a Led Zeppelin song. And apparently there's also a reference to Jurassic Park on that directory sign with a Jurassic Park chiropractors. So those are just some, I want to mention also another one of the references, allusions in there, but yeah. Really good fun episodes overall. I do think I personally enjoyed Upheaval a bit more. The main plot line I think was really good, delves into some character motivations, fleshes out some of the side characters. And while yes, AI has a really good title, punny title. The titles are always punny. And I really love Kevin's storyline. I just feel like overall just did not appeal to me as well. That's just the way things are sometimes. But you know what? I gave you my thoughts. It's time for me to hear your thoughts. So let me know in the comment section, what did you think of Upheaval and AI? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching my video. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to give this video a like and share. Also, consider subscribing to my channel to stay up to date on all my latest content. In the meantime, thank you for watching, and as always, have a good day, a good night, wherever you are. May the force be with you always.